Now we tell you that the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is advocating a single term of 5 or 6 years for elected political office holders across all levels of government in Nigeria against the current double term of 4 years each. Governor Makinde believes a single term of 5 or 6 years is enough for any government to focus and serve the people and deliver on its mandate. The governor made this known while hosting Muslim faithful alongside traditional rulers and political office holders in his Ikolaba private residence in Ibadan, the state capital, shortly after the Eid-el-Kabir prayers. The delegation was led by the state deputy governor, Bayo Lawal. To discuss this, we are joined by the executive director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, Dr. Sam Amadi. Dr. Amadi, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you.
So will a single term of, let's say, 6 years for political office holders ensure quality governance in Nigeria?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, a term does not necessarily guarantee quality governance. But the point is, the argument in support of a single term is that it reduces, perhaps, disincentivizes the level of violence and election rigging that we see in second term. So if a governor has 6 years to be in power, then he would not be involved in fighting for maybe in the second term, he's basically not going to waste resources, time, and he may even be inclined to allow a good candidate emerge, do for election because it's not personally involved. He's not going to be governor again. But the assumption here is that the same governor will not use that 6 years to cream off all that belongs to the state, will not use the same term to perhaps fancy himself being a godfather to impose a lackey, a very wordless person as a successor. So the notion here is that somehow a single tenure might bring some level of stability. People know that just one off and off. Maybe those who want to do good will focus on that one tenure, do the good they can, and exit. And there could be less investment in election when it's the end of a tenure of a governor. So you probably will not have the incentive to invest everything to get somebody else elected. That's an advantage. But the real driver of good governance, whether it's single term or, in fact, you look at the US, for example, where we borrowed our model, you see that in spite of the fact that people go for second term, the second term they know is predicated on the success of the first term. And so they like to do well in the first term. And then also, the second term, they probably do better to kind of institutionalize their legacy. The real problem in our governance is that the political incentive is strong. Elections are easily rigged. That's a problem. The big elephant in the room is that the electoral system is weaponized, lack of financial control, corruption, and then the electoral umpire is totally ineffective and corrupt. So even if it's a single term, the next time we see the agreements violent because the contenders would want to win to get there, and maybe the governor wants to put it. So I think that the panacea, there's no shortcut to good governance, except that citizens are willing to push for accountability, that we are willing to ensure that even if it is 2 terms, you get in the first time, you don't have guarantee for the second term. Even if you steal all the money, you'll be prosecuted. And then maybe we shouldn't give anybody any immunity. The idea of having governors have immunity is laughable. In the US, they limited immunity for the president is because of the president as a person who symbolizes the entire nation. And the idea is to protect it from vexation suit, not to give 36 governors and deputy governors and vice president, a sense of insulation from any form of criminal prosecution, even investigation. The Supreme Court of Nigeria says, even if so, I think that we need to rejig the model, not just single term. At the same time, we need to create institutions that can hold these people accountable, whether it's 2 terms or 3 terms. If you have those institutions and active citizenship, you could get good governance.
Before we even rejig the system, we need to even have an understanding of what the fundamental issues are. I mean, Paul Kagame has been president for 25 years. Late Thomas Sankara was president for 4 years. Rwanda and Burkina Faso witnessed rapid industrial economic and social economic growth, so to speak. So why is Nigeria's case different?
Because Nigeria is a good question. Is it the idea is not necessarily the model or the regime type. Oftentimes we invest so much time thinking about modeling. It's good. Institutions, type of model can help. But the central question in Nigerian politics started with colonial rule. The notion, two things. One is that the combination of the political class and the business class, early with military rule, before military rule, creates politics in Nigeria as a business enterprise. So you can see that if you look at companies in Nigeria, big companies, see that those people who are power today, former generals, are those who own them. So we started with corrupting the political process by allowing those in power and those in the business end to work together. And so they see first access to power as wealth creating, model. So if you get there, you become a billionaire. You create billionaires. If you do an audit of billionaires in Nigeria, apart from those who have been fully in business like Dangote and Co, the 60 to 80% of billionaires in Nigeria are people who have had public office before. So what that tells you is that the public office is actually economic treasure trove. And so the idea of coming to power to serve or to develop is secondary, is economic exploitation. Then that coupled together with ethnic religious division that creates a wedge around national mobilization for some kind of revolutionary challenge of the status quo. So Nigeria is governed by a status quo, a collection of people whose idea is to get public office, share the returns, sometimes equitably, sometimes inequitably, and that sharing is what creates a motion without real movement.
I guess there's a need for us to move forward from these particular points, and all concerted efforts would be needed if we hope that Nigeria's democracy would grow at any point. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam Amadi, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.